Believe it or not, the fighting in Ukraine is well into its third month, with no end in sight. David Martin has a Sunday Journal.
The battle for Ukraine has turned into a slugfest of dueling artillery. It's not the lightning-quick takedown Vladimir Putin intended, but former CIA Director David Petraeus says there's no denying Russian progress.
They have made grinding, costly, but substantial gains. They now control at least 20% of the country, if you include the areas, of course, that they took control of back in 2014.
A swath of territory that would look like this if it were in the United States, stretching from Orlando to North Carolina. How do you think Vladimir Putin feels about the first 100 days?
I'm not sure that he would look in the mirror and say, this hasn't gone at all well. He would regard this as very much a work in progress.
If Russian forces are nowhere near as good as we thought they would be, are they still just good enough?
They are plastering the areas where they find Ukrainian resistance. But that can only go on so long because they're also taking very, very high losses.
By some estimates, they have lost 15,000 killed and 1,000 tanks. The Ukrainians, too, are suffering losses, 60 to 100 soldiers killed each day. But their equipment is being replenished by the U.S. and other Western countries. 108 howitzers with a range up to 20 miles, 4 rocket systems which can fire salvos out to 40 miles. Is the U.S. giving Ukraine enough to just hold the line, or are they giving them enough to actually take back lost territory?
I think that we and the other countries are giving Ukraine enough to take back lost territory, but again, that does remain to be seen.
New equipment is not much use unless the Ukrainians can effectively employ it in combat. The U.S. has sent thousands of Javelin anti-tank missiles to Ukraine, but when American veteran Mark Hayward arrived at the front in March as a volunteer, he found they were useless.
They couldn't even turn the things on to tell whether they worked.
There were not enough batteries to power them.
Because they didn't have batteries, you can't do anything other than put this darn thing in your arms room and wait for, well, if the tanks come at us again, we'll pull it out and hope it works.
Using parts from broken computers, they designed a way to power the Javelins with motorcycle batteries.
It had a strong air of, we're making this up as we go along.
And you're making it up while the Russians are 2 kilometers away?
No, sir, we were making it up while the Russians were 1.6 kilometers away.
The Javelins came out of storage, and 96 hours later, the Ukrainians recorded their first Russian tank kill. The Ukrainians have now gone on the offensive, both in the south against the Russian-held city of Kherson and in the north outside Kharkiv. Petraeus says it's an attempt to outflank the Russians.
If they can get through that and get into the soft spot of the Russian defenses, then it's very possible that they could just keep on going.
I personally think that it is a foregone conclusion that the Ukrainian military will beat the Russian military. And when they finally retake those pieces of Ukraine that are currently occupied, they're going to find nothing left.